Hi everyone. Alright, so welcome to Algebra 1. We are looking at me moving and full screen. So when we left off last time, it says it's hiding me. Apparently I've disappeared. I'm gone. I can't see myself. Oh, it's recording. That's good. Okay. It says solving absolute value inequalities. To solve an absolute value inequality in the form of absolute value of a is less than b, where a is a variable expression and b is greater than 0, solve the compound inequality negative b is less than a is less than b. Really, that first thing means is that if you have an absolute value and it's less than a number, so absolute value less than a number, so the absolute value is less than the distance, then it's going to be an and inequality. So for the first one, we have an and inequality. Then it says to solve an absolute value in the form of absolute value a is greater than b, where blah, 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 blah. Then it says or. So if you have absolute value is greater than, then you have an or inequality. And we can go ahead and do stuff with this like this problem here. So number 4, we have solving an absolute value inequality involving greater than or equal to. And it says, what are the solutions of 8n? The absolute value of 8n is greater than or equal to 24. And then it says graph the solutions. So we're going to solve this just like we've been solving the other absolute values. Exactly like we've been solving the other absolute values. So what we have, bear with me, I'm not using my normal writing, so my writing is not as neat or awesome, so I apologize. So we split it up. It's already in the absolute value, so now we split it up into its two parts. So we have arrow and arrow. Then we have absolute value of 8n is less than or equal to negative 24. And that 8n is greater than or equal to 24. And then we solve to get n by itself, just like we normally did. But Mr. Brummond, that says negative right there. Well, we've already split it up. And a lot of people get that confused because you guys want to call this a no solution right here. It's only if the very first thing, right at the very beginning, if that said it was negative. So please be mindful of that. So if I divide by 8 on both sides, I got n is less than or equal to negative 3. And then I also have, then on the other side, divide by 8 on both sides, divide by 8, bam, bam, those cancel out. I forgot to do that over there. I get n is greater than or equal to 3. So if I graphed these solutions, let's think about what would happen on the number line. So my numbers of importance are negative 3, 0, and 3. Are these going to be open or closed? You totally said closed. I heard you. Way to go. Good job, you. So I have closed there and closed there. Okay, if I am less than negative 3, then would I be going to the left or to the right? Well, if I'm less than, I'm going to the left, so I shade to the left. And if I'm greater than, then I would be shading to the right. So those are my solutions and my graph. Notice that this is an or inequality. It's shading away from each other. It's an or inequality. Notice that. So that's the first one. The second one, it says the absolute value of 1/3 p plus 1 is greater than or equal to 15. It's already an absolute value, so we split it up into its two parts. So I have 1/3 p plus 1 is greater than or equal to, I need to swap. So if you guys are noticing, I am looking for my eraser. I am swapping them, the signs. Why am I swapping the signs? Well, think about what we do when we have a negative number. Whenever we multiply or divide by a negative number, and that's what I'm doing essentially, is that I'm going the negative distance. So I swap my signs. So notice that's what's happening here. Same thing with the other side. 1/3 p plus 1. Now we keep the same sign. It's greater than or equal to positive 15. All right. So now we subtract 1 on both sides. Boop, boop. And we get 1/3 p is less than or equal to negative 60. Then we multiply both sides by 3 over 1, or just 3. All right, so we take negative 16 times 3. Let's see, that should be negative 15 times 3 is 45. Another one that should be negative 48. So I should end up with p is less than or equal to negative 48. That's the first one. Second one, subtract 1 on both sides. Those cancel out. You get 1/3 p is greater than or equal to 14. Multiply both sides by 3 over 1. 3 over 1. Let's see, 15 times 3 is 45, minus 3 is 42. So you should get p is greater than or equal to 42. So if I graph this on my number line, I got negative 48, 0, and 42. If I shade, they're going to be open or closed, open or closed, closed, good job. Fill in, fill in, and then we're going to be shading less than negative 48, so that's going to be this way, and then greater than 42, so that's this way. Bam, we did it. All right. Let's go ahead and go to the got it. Got it says, what are the solutions of absolute value of 2x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 24? It says graph the solutions. So substitute, if you could please pause the video so that my students could try this, that'd be fantastic. When you guys are all done, please check with one another at your table. When your table is finished, please indicate to the sub, that way they know when to move on. So if you would, go ahead and pause. Thank you. Okay, alright, I'm going to assume that there was enough time and you paused successfully. So now I'm going to go ahead and work out the problem so we can see that we all have the same answer. So arrow to arrow, because absolute value is by itself, and I have 2x plus 4 is less than or equal to negative 24, and I have 2x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 24. So I'm going to subtract by 4 on both sides. And I get 2x is less than or equal to negative 28. Divide by 2. I get x is less than or equal to negative 14. And on this side, I'm also going to subtract 4 on both sides. And I get 2x is greater than or equal to 20. Then divide by 2. And I get x is greater than or equal to 10. So those should be my two numbers when you graph it on your number line. Negative 14. 0, 10. These are closed dots, and they shade away. These are OR inequalities. There you go. Hopefully we agree. If we don't, go back and look. If there is a lot of individuals that don't agree then with what I have, then pause the video, let's copy this down. Let's use this as another example, learning opportunity, and we will be awesome. Alright, let's move on. Next we have solving absolute value inequalities with less than or less than or equal to. So it says, what are the solutions of w minus 213? Absolute value of is less than or equal to 5, and it says graph the solutions. So what we're going to do is we're going to split this up into its two parts. So I have w minus 213 is greater than or equal to negative 5, and w minus 213 is less than or equal to 5. Again, these have solutions because my first one right here is positive. If that was a negative number, then I couldn't do it. So I solve these like I would normally. So I had 213 on both sides. That cancels out here. You get w is greater than or equal to 208. And then you have plus 213 on both sides here. 213. Cancels out, and you get w is less than or equal to 5 plus 213 is 218. So this should be an and inequality. When I do this, I should get 0, and let's see, there's 208, and there's 213. The distance between 0 and 208 is much weirder than the distance between 208 and 213, so that, I'm not entirely happy with that, but that is what it is. I'm greater than 208 but less than 218, so I'm shading in between. So this is an and inequality. Same with the bottom. It's already set, so we go ahead and just pull my arrows into its two parts. I have z plus 7 is greater than or equal to negative 24, and z plus 7 is less than or equal to 24. So I subtract 7 both sides, and I get z is greater than or equal to negative 31, and then minus 7, and I get z is less than or equal to 24 minus 7. What is that? 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 17. 17. So I would go to my number line, negative 31, 0, 17. And I'm shading between these two guys because this is an and inequality. There we go. I'm done. So there's my and inequality examples. Now I have my got it. Substitute, if you would please go ahead and pause the video so my students can get started on that. That'd be fantastic. Alright, I assume that you guys had enough time, so let's go ahead and split this up. So I have two parts. It is r minus 2 is less than or equal to negative 3, and r minus 2 is greater than or equal to, I messed up. See if you see my mistake before I erase it. See what I did wrong. Do you see what I did wrong? I hope you do. If you don't, here's what I did wrong. I forgot to flip this sign here. And then I flipped the other one. I don't know what I was thinking. It may be because it's past midnight. That could be. Possibly. That could be why I did it again. So I need to flip the one on the left. You always flip the one with the negative, by the way. That's why I'm flipping it. Always flip the one with the negative. And the one on the right stays. Bam. There we go. Alright. So now I add 2 on both sides. And I get r is greater than or equal to negative 1. Add 2 on both sides here. And you get r is less than or equal to 5. Graph it on a number line. Negative 1, 0. Close dot, and then you shade between them. Alright, hopefully you don't have any questions. If you do, please feel free to message me on Remind, write them down. The video itself isn't that long, but including all the breaks, you guys should be about halfway through class. The intention is that you guys are going to use the rest of the time to then study for the quiz and get your homework done. You have 4 homework problems, 5 minutes a problem. You guys should have that done before you leave. Even if you came to class without that prepared, I'm hoping that you guys leave class today with all of your homework ready and that you're ready to turn it in to me tomorrow. You do have a quiz tomorrow. The sub has everything already arranged. Please turn in your homework so I can get it graded. I do want to get it graded and get it back to you. And lastly, I want you to know that I want you guys to make positive decisions. I care about each and every one of you, even though I'm not there. That is why I'm actually up right now. It is 1 o'clock in the morning making this video for you so that you can at least have some sort of teacher teaching you instead of just trying to go off verbal notes. So you guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. Be awesome. Have a wonderful day. Bye.